Arcadian Sham for boxing and Bantz, and we're at the Pug Gym in Finchley with Jack the Punk Kid Hughes. Jack, welcome to Boxing and Bantz, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been out of the ring for a while, since 2019. Obviously, you know, COVID's hit and, you know, a lot's been going on. So, you know, how have you been keeping busy and motivated?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I actually retired in 2020 of January, and I stayed retired for about 4-6 months. So at that time I was just, you know, doing what I wanted. I was always gaming all night because obviously it was the start of COVID, there wasn't much else to do. And then, yeah, about midway through the year, I had a lot of time to myself to think about things, reflect on things, and I was like, you know what, if I left it now, there's still so much unfinished business in the box as well. So I decided to get back into it. I came back to my old gym, State of Mind, which I've currently left now. I was training with Kieran Duffy, and now obviously things are starting to pick back up, and I've got a fight schedule. So yeah, it's all good things ahead.
That you have. So obviously you mentioned, you know, that you've trained at a few gyms. You've been at State of Mind, you've been at New Kings, and now you're here at Pug in Finchley. Why so many changes in gyms? And is that, like, have you picked up different little things from each gym you've been at?
Yeah, well, it sounds bad. I've actually had 5 trainers in 5 years of being a pro. So,
right.
But I've been at State of Mind. I had 3 different trainers at State of Mind, so I've been there for the majority of my career. The first, like, maybe 3 years of my career, I don't think I was treated very well. I wasn't allowed to train with the pros when they was training. I was always left on my own, and at the time I thought these people were my friends, and that's why I always stuck around.
Sure.
But then obviously, you know, as I got older and matured, I realised that it wasn't my friend. It was time to move away, and then I found Rob Lloyd-Taylor, who is an absolute legend of a man, in my opinion. He took me under his wing. He invited me on holiday with him, invited me around to his house, let me meet his family. But the only thing was with me and Rob, because he worked and I worked shift work, our schedules never aligned as much as probably he would have liked and I would have liked. So when I actually come back into boxing again, I had a chat with him. I said, Rob, as much as I love you, I just don't think it will work out. And then I went back to State of Mind with a new trainer under Adam, and we trained together for 6 months. And after 6 months, I don't know why, but he just said he didn't think we were a good match, and he didn't want to train me anymore. So then I actually ended up sparring down at Club KO, where I met Kieran. And Kieran just took an instant liking to me, because the way I fight and the way I just come forward, don't care like who you are, where you are, I'm ready to throw hands at any given moment. And he just loved that about me, and he actually got in contact with me and said, I'd love to train you, come down with me. And then we trained at Club KO in Essex, but because of, like, I live far from Essex, and Razor Ali, who's my gym mate, also lives far, this gym was like the closest to all 3 of us, and then now we've found our home here at the Pug Gym.
Okay. So, you know, 4 years ago you had your first pro win. You fought George F. So tell us about that night if you remember it, and you know, did you think you were going to win?
Yeah, well, my first fight was actually against Sergei Tasimov, and I lost my debut. So it's quite a mad story. Like, I only had 10 amateur fights, and I turned over. I saw all my friends were turning over, and I thought, you know, like, I've been training with these guys for years. If they can do it, I can do it. And I started to hear things about, like, the pro game, how once you start off, you fight journeymen, as they're called, and a lot of them don't come to win, and so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of easy. Like, I kind of took the pro game for granted. And then on my first fight, obviously I thought I could win. I'm always confident going into any battle, and obviously I ended up coming up short. And I was just like, that was like a real, like, life-changing moment for me. I was like, wow, this isn't the amateurs anymore, and it's not as easy as I thought. And then that just completely changed my whole perspective of life and of boxing. Yeah, now here I am now, 5 years later.
Indeed. And you are just about to fight, or should I say refight, Ricky Little for you know, the Southern Era title, which is a big move. So October the 9th. How are you feeling about the fight? Obviously, I know it's a rematch, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited, because one thing about me, I've said this to Steve before. I said, Steve, if you give me the opportunity I will shock people and I will shock the world. Because no one, at the start of my career, no one ever believed in me. And I've done so many great things since. I've actually headlined your call. I've fought for the Southern Area title. I've been interviewed by Sky. I've been on the world's biggest boxing magazine twice, you know, and like people are now starting to take interest in me because of my character, the way I fight, the way I portray myself. And yeah, I just cannot wait for this rematch because I really believe this is my time now and I think we can do it.
As you said, it's a rematch, and obviously, you know, Ricky won in the last fight, so without giving away too much of your game plan, you know, what will you do differently this time?
As I said before at the beginning of the interview, at the beginning of my career, I don't think I was treated well. Like, I was always made to train by myself. I had a real team around me. And that's the biggest difference this time, is that I've actually got a real team around me. I've got people that care for me, they have my best interests at heart. Just having Kieran there, like, is just a massive game changer for me. And that on the night, I think that's going to be the biggest difference. I mean, I've always believed that I was a better boxer than Ricky anyway. On the night, he just performed better, but it's not going to happen this time.
So beyond that fight, October the 9th, what is in store for Jack in the boxing world?
Just big things, I think. Like, you know, I said about my character, I want to do things that are going to shock people. You know, like, most people don't understand my image. You know, like, I dress funky, I dye my hair, I paint my nails. You know, like, I do things that the ordinary boxers don't do. Like, I'm standing here right now with the Powerpuff Girls on my fingers. You know, this is just like, it's unheard of. So I think I'm going to really change the game and open the way for things like when my boxing is short. So I'm actually boxing with half a skirt, a pink skirt. And again, it's just something, yeah, it's something new that I'm going to portray to the whole scene. And people are going to take interest of me. I've got a massive character, a massive personality. So I just think the future's bright for me.
I think you've just answered the next question, but why do they call you the Punk Kid?
Oh, well, yeah.
You just answered it.
To answer it in a different way, I kind of grew up on the whole punk image when, obviously, in the mid-noughties when I was growing up, punk was the massive scene. You had like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, so on, and I just never grew out of that phase in my life, you know. And as I got older, I started to idolise more people like CM Punk, the wrestler, and MGK, the rap artist, who's actually gone over to pop punk now. And yeah, these people are just massive inspirations to me. Like, you know, be yourself, be who you want, don't care what you think. Like, change the game basically, and that's what I want to do with boxing. I want to change the game. So yeah, that's why they call me the Punk Kid. So.
That's it.
Well, look, Jack, I mean, best of luck for your fight on October the 9th. Do you want to let everybody know your social media handles?
Yeah, my Instagram is Jack_the Punk Kid _Hughes. My Facebook is Jack Punk Hughes, and I always forget my Twitter, but I think it's _Jack_H. But you'll probably be able to find me just like Jack the Punk or something.
Jack, thank you so much. Best of luck.